What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing out there today? Welcome back to Wildcat MTG, and today we are going to talk about Aetherdrift. We're going to open up a collector box, I just want to have a little conversation about Aetherdrift. And at this point, I think it's fair to say like this is not a well-received set. I'm actually interested in the value since these collector boxes have come out. The price of them has come plummeting down. I think that's pretty fair to say at this point from where they started to where they are now. Let's talk about some of the value propositions that are within the set, if there's any redemption for this set. And believe it or not, there actually is some stuff from the set that I'm still looking for as well. So there's some things in it for me as well. With that being said, why don't we go and dive on in and let's crack some packs. So Aetherdrift with Tarkir here and looking like a really, really good set. Aetherdrift, on the other hand, we will talk about the box topper as well. Looks like one of those sets that's going to be very, very forgettable. Now, I will say, as far as value is concerned, so as I mentioned right now, the cost of these boxes at the time of this video is down to about 190, 192. The first place foils do have, and I'm not even going to be dramatic about it, let's just open it now. There is some potential for value there. If you pull a good mythic or like a Ketramos, I can't remember these pull tabs. Yes, there we are. It's just hidden. There is some opportunity for value here. And even just some of the base rares, just because it's a special version, do have some value as well. Come on. There we go. We got our land on top. Some people really like them. Some people think they're pretty terrible. A lot of people are split on them. So here we go. We got our first place foil forest. That's a little alliteration there. And, ooh, we got a mythic. Oh! No way. No way did that just happen. Oh my goodness. Well then. That's going to be a card, huh? That is going to be a card. Okay. Bear with me one moment. I will be sleeving this up. I was just going to say, there is some top-level value in the first place foils there. I wasn't even necessarily meaning Chrome Mox, but that's pretty huge. Gosh, if regular Chrome Mox is $100+ for the special guest, what are we at, 150? I truly don't know, because when I was looking up the value of cards in this set prior to this video, I wasn't necessarily looking at a special guest first place foil Chrome Mox. But it feels fair to say that that might be in the realm of possibility for this card. Well then. Well, that almost pays for the box right there. Okay, so that's not going to happen in every box. Oh my god, that's so good though. That's so good. All right. Well, yeah, so if you hit something good in the first place foil, there are some really, really strong things in there. It's like Ketramos, Borderless, Aether Spark. If you hit some of the mythics in there, like there is some value in there. Even some of the rares, because they are box toppers and you've got the entire set behind it, and you know, you can get them in gift bundles or like one per box in play boxes or one per box in collector boxes. Like they do have some rarity to them. And so there is some value in the first place foils. Not necessarily that, but here we are. All right, but mostly, like, you know, let's face it, most of your hits there, or most of your pulls there, are gonna tend to be forgettable rares, right? But there is some opportunity in the first place foil, which is the first thing I wanted to talk about. Next, what do we got going on here? So, unfortunately, like, Radiant Lotus as a card isn't seeing play at this point. Now, the Fracture foil does have a huge multiplier on it because that card is gorgeous. But, like, base copy Radiant Lotus is, like, $6 right now. It primarily boils down to, like, can you pull Ketramos? Can you pull Aether Spark? Can you pull some of the Borderless Gear Hulks? And can you pull a nice special guest? I do think that over time, the lands will continue to increase in value. We start off with a Borderless Vinwixt Verbose Host. I don't know what I'm going to do with this foil. I'm going to just throw that one down there. I like Vinwixt. Regal Imperiosaur in the extended. Doretti is a Borderless. Wizened Mentor in the Commander. There are a few valuable cards in Commander, nothing like overwhelmingly. Like I think Renewed Solidarity or whatever it's called, I think it's like $8. That might be the most valuable Commander card at this moment. Another Regal Imperiosaur. Actually, I do like the card, and it obviously lends itself well to Dino decks, so I don't hate that. Pack Foil, Regal Imperiosaur. There is a uncommon, of course, worth looking at. I say, of course, I don't want to assume that most people know, but Stock Up as an uncommon is now like a base copy, like $5 or $6, and I think the foil might be like $6 to $7. That card is pretty nutty. So, you know, it's tough because you don't want to lean on like first place foils, and you don't necessarily want to lean on special guests, which are not even necessarily one per box. But those are value, and then after that, you're kind of looking at a few select cards in the set right now. Ganosaur Rex, which is one of my most pulled cards out of this set. I have pulled so many of these. Not necessarily a bad thing. 5 for 8/8 trample, and you can cycle to put counters on something and give it trample and indestructible until end of turn. That is not terrible. Captain Howler's Sea Scourge. Love the art on that, by the way. Love that it looks so real. Like, just I think it has a lot of like definition to it. Howl Squad Heavy, neat. Not going to be a big value card, but a card that I think is good, and I actually really do like that Rat Rod treatment, so I'll put that up there as a card I enjoy. Okay, we have a Commander Mythic, Timid. Yeah, all right, cool. Hashiton is another big one of that Commander slot, and that one has some value to it. Debris Beetle as our pack foil rare. And Velo Heart Bike. Did not get a stock up, and that is totally fine. All right. There is a chance with because Aetherdrift isn't, like the Verge lands are very good, right? We know that we got half the cycle in this set. We got half the cycle in a previous set. There is a chance that because Aetherdrift is just not going to be a very popular set for very valid reasons, that the Verge lands... Ooh, we have a Mythic here. Hey, wow, whoa. That actually is still really good. So it is not a Fracture foil, but that is still Japanese Foil Showcase Radiant Lotus. I am on fire right now. I think this is still going to be in the neighborhood of like $50. Maybe 45, 50, but that is still absolutely a good hit. Even as a non-Fracture foil. I think the Fracture foil is still holding at well over 300 at this moment. So that along with the Chrome box are going to make this box not a problem. That's so good. That is so good. Spectacular Pile Up as an extended art. All right, Guardian Sunmare in that Rat Rod treatment. That's kind of cool. I'll just put it up there with the others. Lost Monarch of Ifnir as the commander card. And a Bloodghast, which I actually am looking for additional copies of, so I will take that as a pack foil. So I will just say that between the Radiant Lotus and the first place foil Chrome box, we're in plus territory. It doesn't even matter what we open at this point. But that is not going to be the norm. That is so far from the norm, I can't even describe it. Gosh, it's so good. Holy moly. Okay. And a Mythic. Hey, it is extended art. March of the World Ooze. I gotta put March, I don't know, extended art foil. That's $5? Question mark? Like, isn't really seeing any play, but I bet it does see, like, as far as constructed, but definitely, like, something you might want to see, and you would see in a commander deck. Culloden, Triumph Caster in the Borderless. Boom Mobile. Saheeli, Radiant Creator, so another Mythic off of the commander. This time is Saheeli as the foil version, which is kind of neat. And then is her Glory's Past, a card I actually do like as well. Roadside Blowout. All right, that will do it there. So we are 4 packs in, heading into pack 5. We have effectively crushed it with this box. But so what I was saying with the lands is I wonder if there is an MKM-like effect where because no one is actively opening this product, nice Bloodghast, another Bloodghast, that time in the Borderlit or the Rat Rod. I guess it's Showcase technically, but I just like to call it the Rat Rod treatment in the foil. I dig that. I'm cool with that. Muruganda Raceway as an extended art. Bulwark Ox, again in that Rat Rod treatment. Renewed Solidarity, neat. That is probably like a $7 or $8 commander card. I'll put that up top. Quag Feast as a pack foil. And that will do it there. Still no stock up. So MKM was special because MKM, you got the entire Surveil land cycle in the set. So you're getting a lot per box generally. And also the Surveil lands proved to be multi-format all-stars in terms of their playability. And I don't think the Verge lands are that same way, but the Verge land cycle is still very good. And I wonder if, because Aether Spark is generally not going to be a very well-received and very well opened and thus, or liked and thus opened set, that there's a possibility that some of the Verge lands that, you know, will go up in value and may be overinflated beyond what they normally would in a set that is opened more, if that makes sense. Another Mythic. Oh, it's special guest. Cavalier of Dawn. All right. Goofy art. It is a special guest. There are some actually decent hits off the special guest list. Bone Miser's a really cool one. A few others. Chromox. Chromox? Yeah, okay. Well, at this point, we are not complaining. We're not allowed to complain when you hit the foil showcase Radiant Lotus and a first place foil Chromox. Perilous Snare as an extended art. Waxen Shape Thief in that showcase treat. Nissa World Soul Speaker is the commander slot. Hey, neat. A Gear Hulk. Sweet. I'm here for that. I think the Gear Hulk cycle is actually pretty good, maybe even a little undervalued. Cole Stoke's not going to be one of the more well-received, but it is still a Gear Hulk, and I mean, Rakdos is speaking my language, so I like the card. Skybox Fairy, Thundering Broodwagon. Whoa, whoops, slipped. Haunt the Network, a pretty good card. Yeah. That's not bad. I don't even want it. I just keep staring at it. Okay. We are into the second half of the box now, right? We are. And needless to say, again, we have effectively crushed it with this box. Let's just see if we can get super greedy. I actually really want to pull an Aether Spark. I don't own any copies of Aether Spark myself. They are pretty hard to pull because they don't have any variants aside from the borderless, which is like, it only comes in serial numbered because it's a serial number card for this set. So you can really only pull the pack foil version, which has limited opportunities in the collector packs. All right, Achik Emerald Radiant as a borderless foil. It's kind of neat. Quag Feast extended art. Thopter Fabricator. Stride Hanger Automaton. I actually think this thing is worth a few bucks as well. You know what I should do? I'll put it up top. Yeah, I think this might be in the neighborhood of $5 or so. And there we go. I was leaving some little wiggle room for the lands. We have a Sun Billow Verge. The lands all are around like $5 to $7 at this point. Nothing like crazy expensive, but they're all seeing play as well, which is where we come into play with that conversation. Boosted Sloop. That will do it there. All right. So again, I don't think it'll be the same thing where like MKM is, you know, generally also not a super well-liked set, but now because the Surveil lands are so good and see so much play, it really has driven up the value of those and thus makes MKM actually very worth opening a lot of the time. You don't have the full land cycle in this set, so it's unlikely to be the exact same effect. We have a Skyseer's Chariot, Far Fortune Boss. Hey, Bloodghast, another Bloodghast. That is my third of the box, right? Okay, not unhappy with that. As somebody who had 0 copies. Actually, I just want to play set in that Rat Rod treatment. I think I have 3 now of the non-foils. Aetherflux Conduit. That is definitely in the wrong pile. There we go. That's what's going on there. And a Possession Engine as a pack foil. So I could see a world where at some point the Verge lands, due to the amount of play they're seeing, specifically in Standard, and the lack of this product being opened, then elevate the value of the land cycle in this. We're not there yet. Oh, Hazoret. Cool. All right. We have borderless foil Hazoret. That's kind of neat. It is a mythic. Start your engine. Destructible haste. 2 for a 5/3. Can attack or block unless you have max speed, and then but he can make it so that target creature with power 2 or less can't be blocked this turn, which is kind of a neat ability sometimes. Explosive Getaway. Sunbillow Verge, our second. Again, I think the Sunbillow Verge is probably in the neighborhood of like $5 to $6 for non-foil. Priest of the Crossing. Draconautics Engineer. Actually, I do like this card. I think this card's pretty good. Fun to play. Giving the squad haste is comes in handy. Spell Pierce. All right, there we go. We got 3 packs. Well, we have not hit a Ketramos or an Aether Spark, or I would say the more valuable Gear Hulks. Again, with how we started off this box, we are in great shape. Even if the Chromox, I don't know. I think it's like, I'm going to guess 150. I could be off on that. Maybe it's more, but it could be less. Debris Beetle. Another Hazard, this time in the non-foil. Okay, we can chill on the Hazarets. This is fine. I'd like Gear Hulks, please. Basri, Tomorrow's Champion. Territorial Aether Kite is the commander slot card. Hey, there we go. Well, this might be about as good as this box as an Aether Spark box can get. Minus like a Fracture Foil, Radiant Lotus. This might be as good as these boxes get. Aether Spark Foil. This card is ranging between 30 and 35 right now. As I mentioned, is a very tough pull. Almost particularly in the collector packs because it doesn't have multiple versions. If you happen to pull the other version of it, you really hit the jackpot because you pulled the serial number card. So you can really only get it in the pack foil version, which is also propping up its value as well. There we go. Wow, that is a huge, huge hit for us. Let's freaking go. Let's freaking go. Okay. We pull a couple more Verge. I mean, let's be 0 complaints at this point, but a couple more Verge lands. I will feel really good. Got me some Blood Gas in there. 2 packs left. Perilous Snare, Extended Art Foil. Samet, the Driving Force. Samet is really good in Limited. This card did some work for me in a couple of drafts. Web Strike Elite. I actually do like this card. I think it has some nice versatility to it. On the Wings of Gold. Bulwark Ox in the pack foil version. And that will do it there. We are on to the last pack here. Okay. How will we conclude? Muruganda Raceway as an extended art foil. I kind of like this land. It's gonna, if speed isn't really in play as a archetype, it's not gonna really take off. But the idea of a ancient tomb on a land that doesn't actually cost you life, you know, even if it's delayed, is not the worst prospect. I kind of like the card. Got another mythic behind here. Imagine pulling this box in like week 1 though. Holy moly, with an extended art Radiant Lotus. As I mentioned, I think Radiant Lotus currently isn't seeing any play. Double Radiant Lotus box, by the way. But extended art, you know, maybe like $7-8. The base copy is like, you know, at this point is like $6. But hey, you know what? If this card, and it's a big if this card ever sees combo play, all of a sudden it just shoots up. Because if it does find play at home, that means it's probably busted. I'm only putting it over there because the left is ridiculous. All right. Fearless Swashbuckler. Prophet of the Scarab as the commander slot card. And a Demonic Junker as the pack foil. Let's see. Any chance of a stock up back here? No. And that's okay. Because the rest of this box was, all things considered, fairly redonkulous. Okay. Well, you know what? I'm going to just wrap this thing up here. First place foil Chrome Mox. Showcase foil Radiant Lotus, Aether Spark pack foil. We are looking very, very good. We only pulled a couple of the lands, which again, I think like NCAM, because it has that whole cycle, the whole land cycle is in one set. So you usually get like 5 to 7 per collector box. It seems like the experience with these being only half the land cycle is usually around the neighborhood of 3-ish. But you know, that's kind of my theory I have is like, hey, like the Verge lands are undoubtedly going to see play multiple formats, certainly constructed for the next 3 years, certainly standard for the next 3 years, barring something crazy. And I just wonder if it's not a bad time to pick them up now, I guess, is if you're a buy singles person, because I just wonder, like, as we get further and further away from Aetherdrift release and less of this product is being opened, if those start to climb in value at some point. So, anyways, that's going to do it for me today. Obviously, this box is off the chain, just crazy. I'm happy with it. That's going to do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, do me a favor. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button for me. Hit the like button for me. And by all means, drop me some comments. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much, everybody. And be well.